Hi, I'm Pat Galanfi with Attention Central Texas, and today we have two very special guests from Fort Cavazos here today. We have Chaplain Lewis Kruger and Sergeant First Class, Kendra Brandon. Good, welcome to both of you. And there's something going on at Fort Cavazos that is just really exciting. I know my husband and I have been talking about it because I believe this is going to be such an interesting opportunity for the community to come together with Fort Hood. There again, I bet you hear that a lot, don't
That's
you?
right, yeah.
With Fort Cavazos. So just tell us a little bit, if you would, about the Military-Civic Partnership engagement that y'all are planning on putting on, and tell us a little bit about it and who you're hoping will come.
Okay. Well, thanks, Pat, for having us this morning. And actually, it's going to be good afternoon soon.
That's true.
Well, on April 18th, from 9 to 12, we're going, as you said, we're going to have a military-civilian partnership engagement. And what we like to do is we're inviting pastors and ministers from the nearby area, from Killeen, Copper's Cove, Harker Heights, also Belton and Temple. And we're inviting them to this event because our goal is to have some collaboration, further our communication, help pastors know what's going on at Fort Cavazos currently. You know, there's been a number of deployments that's publicly been made known, like in Army Times.
Right.
But also notional of if things were to happen, and all of our soldiers were deployed, and maybe there were a lot of casualties, maybe we might need assistance from the local clergy in the area.
Right.
So that's a few things. Do you want to add to that, Sergeant Brandon?
Yeah, I would just say the truth of the matter is a lot of our soldiers are members of different congregations
Right.
out there. So it would be just great to have that support for those families that attend those service and the pastors that know them more than we do, in a sense. So I think it's going to help bring that together a little bit.
Okay. And who all can come? I mean, is there a specific target audience you're looking for?
Yes, Pat. So the target audience are retired military chaplains.
Oh, good.
And also pastors or ministers in the local area.
Okay.
That's the really target that we would like to see come out. And those are the ones we like to build relationships with.
Okay. All right. And what's your goal? What are you hoping to accomplish?
So actually, going back just to let you know and the audience know, chaplains will also be there. So be it, you know, Fort Cavazos, there's a number of chaplains.
Religious affairs specialists.
And also in religious affairs specialists. That's why I really wanted to have Sergeant Brandon with me, because she's my NCOIC at the Religious Support Office. And really, her and myself, we're a team. We're the unit ministry team. And chaplains at Fort Cavazos, they're always working a team. It's the chaplain and the religious affairs specialist. Together, they make the unit ministry team. So we want to build relationships, not just us, our office, but we're inviting chaplains for all of Fort Cavazos who are around and the religious affairs specialists to develop these relationships with the civilian ministers in the region.
All right. And what's your role in this, Kendra, as far as are you contacting different pastors in the area, or how's that working? How are they getting the word out other than maybe hear this?
So we have our administrative assistant, Ms. Teresa Paris. She sent out invites to all the communities, the local churches in the area. And so we're getting the word out through that. We're hoping to put it in the newspaper here. So just different word of mouth. Chaplain Kruger actually went to a Ministers Alliance meeting last Friday.
Right.
And he was able to put it out there as well.
Right.
So just different word of the mouth, any way we can get it out.
Okay.
Just like I said, to just hopefully build that connection with some of these local pastors where the families are. So, you know, in the case where something happens. And
Now, you're using the word local.
Yes.
But who all does that incorporate? Because this area is full of small towns.
Yes.
That makes one big conglomerate.
Yeah, so honestly, like I said, we did the whole Killeen, the Copper's Cove, Belton, Temple,
Harker Heights.
So the letters was massive that we were able to send out. I would say maybe over 500 churches
Wow.
is what we actually sent letters to.
Okay. What about Gatesville? Are they? I mean, because Gatesville's just right on the other
Right.
end of
It
Fort
is.
I
Hood,
believe we
right?
did send some
So, but
letters to people
basically,
in
if
Gatesville.
anybody who's in ministry that would be interested in in this surrounding area
Exactly.
would be invited to come and join you guys that day. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
That's right.
Now, I understand too, though, that you do want them to register because it's always a good idea to plan ahead. And so give us a little heads up on how people can do that.
Right. So it is really important that people RSVP, and there'll be a QR code that'll air with this broadcast.
Okay.
So if they use that QR code, that will go to a form where they can fill out the information.
Okay.
If they need more, if they have any questions, they can call Teresa Parrish. She works at our office, the Religious Support Office. She's our admin assistant, and her number is 254-288-6545.
Okay.
So I'll say it one more time, just so people might be grabbing a pen.
Yeah, please.
254-288-6545. And I believe that number will also be shown at the end of this broadcast.
Right, yes, I believe they are, and I think they're going to put the QR code up as well.
Right.
So for all you techie people out there, just grab your phone, stick it in front of the TV, and that'll actually lead you right to that link, which I think is pretty cool. Now, this is going to be at Comanche Chapel, correct?
Yes.
Do you have the address of that?
I don't.
Actually, I have the address.
Do you have this? Thank you.
It is actually on my cheat sheet.
Okay.
So it's 52024 Tank Destroyer Boulevard. And if you do not have a sticker, like you have to go to the Visitors Center first, correct?
Right.
Right. So it's really important if you plan to come, really this week, if you go to the Fort Cavazos homepage, if you just do a Google search on Fort Cavazos, go to the homepage, and then you'll see some links for the Visitor Center. Go to the Visitor Center, and you can fill out a form to get access to come onto Fort Cavazos.
Right.
And then they'll send you an email once you enter your information, so that you would know that your access has been approved. But that's important to do prior to this event.
Right. And if I remember correctly, because I think I did this a few months ago, after you get approved, you take your approval and still go into the Visitor Center and get your pass. Is that correct?
You can get a pass, or if it says, sometimes the email will say you've been approved,
Okay.
and it'll give you directions. Just
Oh,
follow
okay.
the directions on that email. Sometimes I think the information will be on your phone. You can just show that to the gate guard.
Okay.
But
Excellent.
you should get thorough instructions from the Visitor Center.
I know it was because I remember before it was a little bit trickier to do that, and it's really streamlined a lot. So that's excellent. I'm so glad to hear it. So we're going to, if they do have any questions, they can call Teresa Parrish, correct? Now, let me ask you, Sergeant First Class, how kind of a response, have you been getting a good response from some of the local pastors, or have you heard?
I would say so. We've already got a few RSVPs came back already. And we did something similar to this last year, and we actually got a really good amount of ministers that came through. So I'm hoping for the same, if not more, this year.
Awesome. And I understand, I believe, Chaplain Kruger, that you're planning more in the future as well?
That's right. This is just really building on what we did last year.
Okay.
And after this particular event, we'll have other events in the next year. So we'll put out some of this information during the actual event on April 18th. But this, yes, it's not just a single event. We really want to build on what we did last year, have this event, and continue building on with events going into the summer, fall, and next spring.
Relationship building, it sounds like it's what
building.
we're dealing with. Relationship building between Fort Cavazos and the area communities. I know you guys work very closely with our mayors and civic leaders. I know in Killeen, I'm aware of that, and I suspect you do that with many of the cities around the area. So I so much appreciate the opportunity that you're giving the community to become more aware of your needs Because sometimes we just think you guys are just, well, y'all are all self-sufficient.
Right, yeah.
But you have needs that we might be able to help with, and vice versa.
Right.
So I'm excited about that meeting. And I just want to encourage you to, I just want to encourage those that are watching, especially if you are a chaplain, or if you are a retired chaplain, or if you are in ministry and pastor a local church and you haven't heard about this, if you didn't get a letter, please contact them and sign up and become a part of the solution. Because there are many issues and problems that we can solve together that we can't solve just by ourselves. And so I am so encouraged by this meeting that y'all are putting together, and I'm really excited about it. I hope I'll get to come. I'm not officially a pastor though, so I would have to have a personal invitation from you, so we'll talk later.
Well, you are invited.
Thank you, there you go. Because I really think that it's important, and there are ministry leaders that aren't, quote, chaplains or pastors, that probably would take the time to want to become more aware of what's going on. Because sometimes it takes more than just a pastor to fill the role. And so I'm excited, because you talked about some needs that y'all might have, which I had never thought about if there's possible emergencies coming up and things like that. You know, we've had a few here at Fort Cavazos.
Right.
And I remember watching the community come together with Fort Hood, and it made for such a good response and a good outcome. Whereas if we had tried to do it all by ourselves, it would not have flowed as well and had such a good outcome. So I want to thank you both for coming, for being a part of our community. And I encourage all of you out there to get online or call that number or get that QR code and flash your phone at it and join us that day on April 18th. That's a Thursday from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Since I just got my invitation, I hope to see you there. Have a great afternoon.